و میخوایم بگویم که به تمام کسایی که به این برنامه شرکت کردن خوش آمدین. خوش آمدین به سوم محفل استاد شدن با زنای افغان. من تمام گپای خود به انگلیسی میزنم و برنامه را به انگلیسی شروع میکنم. Hello and welcome to our third event, Stand with Afghan Women. It has been 1 year since the Taliban has taken power or were given power to take all over Afghanistan. And since then, our network has been following the news of Afghanistan very closely and have a close connection with Afghan women, both inside and outside Afghanistan. It has been 362 days since the schools are closed for girls to go to school, and jobs are banned for women, so women cannot go to attend any job without a maharam or men. And this is becoming unbearable for women who do not have men in their family, especially widows, single mothers, and single women. So it is kind of a nightmare for Afghan women and girls to live in Afghanistan right now. Today we have numbers of women from different backgrounds who will be speaking to us from inside and outside Afghanistan about their experiences and about the situation of Afghan women and girls in Afghanistan, and also their experiences outside Afghanistan. We also have guests who are not Afghans, but they have been involved with Afghan women, Afghan women resettlements outside Afghanistan, and supporting and helping women inside Afghanistan since August last year. Now I will invite Daria Parsia, who is in Afghanistan right now. She's an artist and she will be speaking to us. The floor is yours, Daria.
Daria, can you hear us?
Daria جان میشه که شروع کنین لطفاً؟ Hello? We can't hear Daria, so there might be some technical reasons for this. While we solve this problem, I will give the floor to Razia. Razia John, you're here, and if you can start, please.
سلام. صدای من دارین؟
بله بفرمایید.
من امیدوار هستم که دریا جان هم ما خود داشته باشیم. شروع میکنم صحبت های من. به نام وطن. من رازیا باریزی هستم. کارمند دولت. تا مقطع ماستری تحصیلات کردم و همین موفقات زندگی نسبتاً خوبی داشتیم. مخصوصاً که به آینده امیدوار بودیم و فکر میکردیم که در وطن خود، در خانه خود میتونیم که زندگی امن داشته باشیم و به آرزوهای خود برسیم. ما تلاش میکردیم جامعه بهتری برای شهروندان افغانستان و کشور دوست و امن‌تر برای تمام مردم جهان داشته باشیم. اما با آمدن طالبان تمام چیز برعکس شد. ما میدانستیم که طالبان بر مردم رحم نمیکنن. میدانستیم که آنها همه دستاوردهای مردم افغانستان را نادیده میگیرند. ما دیدگاهی از اونا را نسبت به کسایی که در طول 20 سال گذشته تحصیل کرده بودن میدانستیم. از نظر طالبان کسایی که در طول 20 سال گذشته در دوره جمهوریت تحصیل کردن و با آگاهی رسیدن، کفر است و قتلشان بسیار زیاد ثواب داره و جای افتخار است. تعریف طالب از زن به این معناست که باید زن در خانه باشه، وظیفه زن تولید مثل است و انجام کارهای خانه و زنی که پا از خانه فراتر بگذاره زنی است که به درد زندگی نمیخوره، به درد جامعه نمیخوره و جامعه را به فساد و جامعه را به اعمال غیر اخلاقی میکشانه و باعث گناه مردای او جامعه میشه. زن فراتر از اینکه کار کنه و فراتر از اینکه اولاد بیاره و طبق ایدئولوژی طالبان او را تربیت کنه، تعریف دیگی، ارزش دیگی در نزد طالب و کسایی که مثل طالب فکر میکنن نداشته و نداره. و همچنان زن حق نداره که فراتر از این چیزی مطالبه کنه و اگر مطالبه کنه با شکنجه طالب، با تهدید طالب و مورد مؤاخذه طالب قرار میگیره. ما این مسائل قبل از اینکه دوباره طالب بیایه از 5 سال حکومت قبلی طالبان میدانستیم، به خاطر که در 5 سال حاکمیت قبلی طالبان هر آن ظلمی که ممکن به نظر انسان بیایه از طرف طالبان بر زنان در افغانستان و بر تمام مردم در افغانستان روا داشته شده بود و ما می‌فهمیدیم که طالب این بار با کینه و کدورت بیشتر میآید تا ظلم بیشتر بر مردم افغانستان روا بداره. به همین دلیل ما و خیلی از افرادی که مثل ما کنجکاو بودن نگران گفتگوهای دوحه پشت درهای بسته بودیم. همونطور که امروز هم دوباره ما نگران هستیم از گفتگوهایی که در وین صورت میگیره پشت درهای بسته و مردم حق از این را ندارن که اطلاعات در مورد ای که پشت اون درهای بسته چه چیزهایی رد و بدل میشه داشته باشن. همه چیز پنهان و دور از چشم مردم با عام بود و مخصوصاً ای که سرنوشت زنان در کجای این مذاکرات قرار داره و دیدگاه طالب نسبت به زن افغان و مخصوصاً نسبت به زن تحصیل کرده در افغانستان و جایگاه و موقف اجتماعی، سیاسی، اقتصادی زنان چیست گم بود. بعد از 2 سال گفتگو بالاخره کابل و افغانستان به دست طالبان سپرده شد. 15 اگست بود که طالبان وارد کابل شد. من در دفتر بودم و واقعا روزی است که من اگر ساعتها بشینم در مورد او استرس، در مورد او نگرانی و در مورد او واویلایی که در کابل جریان داشت سکنم، باز هم نمیتونم به صورت تکمیل او چیزی را که به چشم خود دیدیم او چیز را بیان کنم. 16 اگست ما هشتگ را راه اندازی کردیم تحت عنوان زنان افغان وجود دارند. این هشتگ چون با ورود آمدن طالبان همه سراسیمه بودن، همه وحشت زده بودن و همه به نحوی از سوشال میدیا حتی زنها فرار کرده بودن، دیاکتیو شده بودن، مورد حمایت آنچنانی قرار نگرفت. صبح اول تاریخ 17 اگست ما اولین اعتراض خیابانی خود در مقابل ارگ ریاست جمهوری شروع کردیم. ابتدا طالبان و ما حمله کردند و میخواستند به زور و ناسزا مظاهره ما را سرکوب کنه. اما بعد از اینکه متوجه شدن همه موبایل‌ها به دستشان است و به نحوی همه چیز رسانه‌ای میشه، زور کنار گذاشتن و کوشش کردن که با تهدید لفظی ما را از مبارزه و مظاهره منصرف بسازن که چون این نشد. ما برای خود ادامه دادیم، شعار میدادیم که زنان افغانستان وجود دارند، باید نادیده گرفته نشوند، باید زنان استاده شوند به خاطر دستاوردهای 20 سال اخیر و به خاطر تمام حق و حقوق انسانی خود. ما ادامه دادیم این مبارزه را و در طول بسیار مدت کمی ما گروه ها را تشکیل دادیم، هم در کابل هم در ولایات، و در طول 1 سال گذشته برنامه های بسیار زیاد را داشتیم. حرکت خودجوش مبارز افغانستان اولین گروهی بود که در افغانستان ساخته شد به خاطر مبارزات مدنی علیه طالبان و در این حرکت از سر تا سر افغانستان، از تمام ولایات، از تمام اقوام و از تمام اقشار جامعه عضویت داشتند و عضویت دارند. اعتراضات زیادی را هم در کابل و هم در ولایات به انواع و اقسام مختلف برگزار کردیم، هم اعتراضات خیابانی، هم در اماکن سربسته و هم از طریق کنفرانس های مطبوعاتی، مقاله نویسی، مصاحبه با رسانه ها و به هر نحو ممکن فعالیت در سوشیال میدیا، به هر نحو ممکن ما در طول 1 سال مبارزه خود انجام دادیم. حالا میخوایم براتون از افغانستان بگیم. مردم افغانستان از تمام حقوق انسانی خود محروم شدند. این که من میگم از تمام حقوق انسانی خود محروم شده، زیرا از این عنوان ما میتونیم بسیاری مسائل یادآوری کنیم، یعنی که کلگی حقوق خود از دست دادن. اگر اعتراضی کنند از طرف مخصوصا زنها در این مابین بسیار زیاد ضربه دیدن، اگر اعتراض کنند چه زن چه مرد در افغانستان از طرف طالب به مرگ، زندان، شکنجه، حد حرمت و تحقیر تهدید میشن. طالب در حد رسیده که به صورت علنی در برنامه‌های تلویزیونی فعالین حقوق زن تهدید میکنند. از جمله خودم بارها در برنامه‌های تلویزیونی به صورت لایو تهدید شدیم. فقر و گرسنگی به اوج خود رسیده. متاسفانه اکثریت مطلق مردم افغانستان، بالای 90% مردم افغانستان گرسنه هستند. دسترسی کامل به مواد غذایی به خاطر مایحتاج روز و شب خود ندارند. اتفاقات فجیعی در افغانستان رخ داده. مردم فرزندای خود به خاطر سیر کردن شکم خود میفروشند. مردم فرزندای خود برای افراد دیگر میتن که فقط شکمشان اسیر کنه و از گرسنگی و از مرگ نجاتشان بده. و مردم دخترای زیر سن خود به اجبار به ازدواج میتن. ازدواج های اجباری، خودکشی هایی که ناشی از خشونت ها علیه، ناشی از ازدواج های اجباری و ناشی از تمام قیوداتی که بر زنها در افغانستان شده، زیاد شده، گراف خودکشی بالا رفته. هیچ کس در افغانستان امیدی به آینده نداره. همه دوست دارن که افغانستان و کشوری که به او 1001 امید و آرزو بسته بودن ترک کنن و از این وحشت و واویلا جان خود و جان فامیل خود در نجات بدن. تمام زیربناهای یک حکومت معیاری، حکومت قانون محور و مردم سالار از بین رفته. طالب باور به حکومت مردمی، باور به قانون، باور به عدالت نداره. طالب میخواد که از دروازه زور، استبداد در افغانستان قدرت نمایی کنه و این قدرتش ادامه داشته باشه. درخواست ما از جامعه جهانی و دوستانی که میتونه صدای ما را به جهانیان برسانه این است که افغانستان بدنه ای از جهان است و تا وقتی یک قسمت از بدن جهان مریض و میکروبی باشه تمام جهان از عواقب و اضرارش در امان نخواهد بود. ما مرگ الظواهری در دل کابل شاهد بودیم. بدون شک الظواهری جانشین هایی داره و اگر دنیا به مسئله افغانستان، به بحران افغانستان بی تفاوت باشه، متاسفانه از آدرس افغانستان برای مردم منطقه و برای مردم جهان خطرات بسیار ناگوارتر از 11 سپتامبر منتظر خواهد بود. من باور به این دارم که بشر باید به خاطر بشر مبارزه کنه. همونطور که زنان در افغانستان به خاطر آزادی و به خاطر دموکراسی بشری و به خاطر امنیت جهانی علیه گروه‌های تروریستی در حال مبارزه هستند. بیاییم یک اجماع جهانی تشکیل بدیم، مخصوصاً اجماع زنان جهان به خاطر نجات زنان افغانستان. این کار شدنی است و پیشنهاد میکنم به ما فرصت بیشتر بدیم. بگذاریم که از حال و اوضاع خود، از حال و اوضاع مبارزات و از حال و اوضاع افغانستان و مبارزین ما که همه تا اکنون سینه سپر کردن در افغانستان مبارزه میکنه برتان بیشتر قصه کنیم. از زبان کسایی بشنویم که جان به کف مبارزه کردن. اجازه بدیم که افرادی که اصیل هستند و افرادی که واقعا مبارزه کرده صحبت کنه و دست افرادی سودجو را خواهش میکنم کوتاه کنیم. ما اینجا با جان، مال، عزت و آبرویمان بازی میکنیم تا طالب را شکست بدیم. اما متاسفانه در اروپا و آمریکا کسانی من حیث چهره تاثیرگذار سال معرفی میشه و ایوارد میگیرن که در طول سال گذشته هیچ ریسکی به خاطر افغانستان و به خاطر زن افغانستان و به خاطر ملت افغانستان یا به خاطر مردم جهان انجام ندادن. من فکر میکنم فرصت از اون رسیده که ما و شما تلاش کنیم و بگذاریم که حق به حقدار برسه. ما 16 اگست تا حال مبارزه میکنیم تا زمانی که پدرم از اثر بیماری از پای در آمد و به خانه بر روی بستر افتاد و توسط طالبا بار تهدید شدم، شکنجه شدم و از یک محل مجبور شدم به محل دیگه فرار کنم. مبارزه کردیم اما هیچ کس نمیدونه. چرا؟ چون فکر میکنم به خود حتی زحمت از این نمیده تا سرچ کنه، تا ببینه که چه کسایی در صحنه نبرد قربانی دادن. حتی از طریق فضای مجازی یک سرچ صورت نمیگیره که چه کسانی مبارزه کرده و چه کسایی امتیاز طلبی میکنن. دروازه های نشست ها، گفتگوها و تمام صحنه ها برای ما بسته است. ما اینجا در پاکستان هم هیچ امنیت نداریم. دوستان ما در افغانستان مخفی زندگی میکنند، اما میبینیم که مدال ها و جوایز قهرمانی را دیگران تصاحب میکنند. ما شما میخوایم هر کاری که در توان دارید برای افغانستان، برای مردم افغانستان و مخصوصا زنان معترض افغانستان انجام بدیم. ما برای آزادی بشر از قید اسارت مبارزه میکنیم. پس این مبارزه متعلق به مردم افغان و مردم و زنان جهان است. پیشنهاد نهایی معی است که اعضای اینمی جلسه یک گروه واتساپ تشکیل بدیم و یا از هر طریق دیگه یک پلتفرم درست کنیم و به صورت دوامدار تبادل نظر داشته باشیم، طرح‌هایی را با هم شریک کنیم تا برسیم به یک اجماع کلی و اجماع جهانی و برنامه‌های بیشتر داشته باشیم برای افغانستان و برای جهان. تشکر.
عزیز جان، تشکر بسیار زیاد. تشکر از حرفایتان و از اینکه همراه ما تجربه خود شریک ساختین و تجربه شخصی خود همچنان. حالا دوباره از دریا جان خواهش میکنم اگر بتونن که همراه ما گپ بزنن. دریا جان صدای من رو میشنوین؟ لطفاً گپ بزنین. هلو دریا جان صدای من رو میشنوین؟ We're waiting for Daria. Daria is a young artist from Afghanistan. She is in Afghanistan right now. And I know sometimes there can be internet issues and technical issues. I think she's trying to speak. We did a testing, she could speak, but we cannot hear her voice right now. I'll just give a few seconds for Daria to test her mic again. And we can listen to her. Daria, can you see if you can put your mic on or? I think there is a real issue with Daria's voice. So we will go to our next speaker. Our next speaker is Sandoz. Oh, I think she's connecting. Daria, can you speak? Can you speak? Okay, we still cannot hear her. So we will go to our next speaker. She's also a young girl, a student who is in Afghanistan right now. She couldn't be with us because of technical issues, because of internet connection, but she has sent us a voice with one of her poems, which is about going back to school. And we will play that now.
دختران افغانیم بر نمیگردیم عقب. دختران افغانیم بر نمیگردیم عقب. سالیان را رنج دیدیم بر نمیگردیم عقب. گر ز دانش باز داری دختران این وطن، دانشی در سینه داری بر نمیگردیم عقب. گر که بستی پایمان را با زنجیرهای جهل، ما پر پرواز داریم بر نمیگردیم عقب. گر چراغ این ره تاریک را بشکستی زود، شمعی را در دست داریم بر نمیگردیم عقب. گر گل و گلخانه را آتش کشیدی با غرور، بذری بهر کشت داریم بر نمیگردیم عقب. گر زمین را هم گرفتی تا نکاریم بذر خویش، خاک و گلدان را که داریم بر نمیگردیم عقب. خاک و گلدان را که داریم بر نمیگردیم عقب. من سندوس نظام علکوزایی هستم، یک تن از باشندگان ولایت هرات باستان و خیلی خوشحال هستم که در جلسه زنان قهرمان شرکت دارم. همانطور که همه اطلاع دارید، تقریبا مدت طولانی هست که دروازه‌های مکتب به روی دانش آموزان دختر بسته است. با پیش آمدن چنین شرایطی مشکلات زیادی گریبانگیر من و همه زنان دختران افغانستان شده. خیلی دردآور است. من هم صف 12 مکتب هستم و باید امسال مکتب رو پایان میرسونم، اما متاسفانه نشد. من اصلا در عمرم چنین تصوری نمیتوانستم بکنم که روزی قرار است فرا برسد که کسی ما را از رفته و مکتب باز دارد. با پیش آمدن چنین تحول زندگی دختران و زنان افغانستان نیز متحول شد. من خودم به شدت دچار بیماری‌های جسمی و روانی شدم. افسردگی شدیدی پیدا کردم و استرس و اضطراب به بالاترین درجه خود رسید. دخترانی را می‌شناسم که با بسته شدن دروازه‌های مکتب دچار بیماری‌های گوناگونی شدند. دخترانی می‌شناسم که با بسته شدن دروازه‌های مکتب و ازدواج دادن و گفتن دیگه ما آرزویی نداریم. دخترانی را دیدم که کتاب‌های خود با آتش کشیدن، گفتن ما دیگه به درس ادامه نمیدیم. وقتی من دلیل این همه کارا از اونا پرسیدم، میدونید چی گفتن به من؟ به من میگفتن خواهر جان، درسی چی؟ آرزویی چی؟ نه خودت را فریب بده نه ما را. خودت که میدانی در افغانستان آرزو و رسیدن به آن محال است. این کشور مرد هاست، پس بگذار آنها لذت ببرند. خدا ما را برای همین آفریده تا خدمت به مردهای من بکنیم. این حرف آن دوستم مرا به شدت، قلبم را به شدت پاره کرد. چنان گولیم بغض کرده بود که نمیتوانستم چیزی بگویم. آنقدر غم دارم که نه با گریه کم شد، نه با فریاد زدن، نه با عصبانی شدن، با هیچ چیزی دیگری کم نشد. اما با این حال وقتی دیدم تصمیم به شعر سرودن و داستان نویسی کردم. فعلا هم روی رمانی کار میکنم که از اوضاع بد زنان و دختران افغانستان میگوید. من تک تک آن اشک‌های ناامیدی و بیچارگی را در چشمان دختران و زنان افغان دیدم. فریادی که از ته قلب سر می‌دادند را نیز دیدم. من تمام این اشک‌ها و غم‌ها و رنج‌های زنان افغان را جمع کردم و داخل این رمان قرار دادم. اسم این رمانم هست منم پرواز خواهم کرد. درسته که عده‌ای با روان و ذهن تار خود زنجیرهای جهل را به پاهای من بستند، اما آنها از وجود بال و پری که ما داریم بیخبرند. بال و پری که هر زن و دختر آن را دارد و اگر آن پر و بال را ما بشناسیم و آن را به دست بیاوریم، با آن خواهیم توانست به هر سویی که خواستیم پرواز کنیم. من هم مثل تمام زنان و دختران افغان با مشکلات گوناگونی روبرو هستم، اما امیدم را هرگز از دست ندادم و نمیدهم. چرا؟ چون ما پر و بالی داریم که اگر به وجود آنها پی ببریم و آن را به دست بیاوریم میتوانیم به هر سوی پرواز کنیم. من از تمام زنان و دختران افغانستان میخواهم امیدشان را از دست ندهند و کوشش کنند تا از مشکلات استفاده کنند. بله، استفاده. شاید این سخنم کمی عجیب به نظر برسه، اما این بهترین کار و روش است. درسته که عده‌ای در مکاتب را به روی ما بستند، اما کتاب را که از ما نگرفتند، در اصل گرفته نمیتوانند. درست است، من هم مثل عده‌ای چند وقتی ناراحت بودم، گریه میکردم و افسرده شده بودم، اما در همان حالت باقی نماندم. من کوشش کردم تا از این زمان استفاده مفید کنم. در توی این مدت طولانی که خانه‌نشین شدم، من در حدود صدها کتاب مطالعه کردم. من به حقایق زیادی پی بردم. به روی ذهن و توانایی‌های خود کار کردم. با مطالعه و تلاش‌های پی در پی من موفق به کشف استعدادهای پنهان خود شدم. استعدادهایی که تا قبل از این از وجود آنها بیخبر بودم. من از تک تک زنان و دختران افغان می‌خواهم تا از آرزوهای خود دست نکشند و به مسیر خود ادامه بدهند. خواهش میکنم هرگز از مطالعه دست بر نداریم و تا میتوانیم بر روی ذهنیت و توانایی خود کار کنیم. شما ها میدانید که جهان امروز شما را به چی نام خطاب میکنند؟ آنها ما را به نام قهرمان یاد میکنند. بله، قهرمان. شما قهرمان هستید. برای همین است که خدا میخواهد شما را مورد آزمون قرار دهد. این فقط یک امتحان است. بگذارید جهانیان ببینند که زنان و دختران افغانستان میتوانند. آنها این مسیر تاریک را خواهند پیمود و در آخر به روشنایی ابدی خواهند رسید. مثل داستان رمان نیز چنین است. در آخر پایان خوش و آزادی. امیدوارم بعد از به اتمام رساندن این کتاب بتوانم آن را به چاپ برسانم تا باشد همه دنیا به مقاومت و شجاعت زنان و دختران افغان پی ببرند و بدانند که ما هرگز تسلیم نخواهیم شد و روزی حتما این داستان به واقعیت تبدیل خواهد شد. و خواسته ای از جامعه جهانی دارم. امید که به گفته هایم جامعه عمل بپوشانند. در افغانستان زنان و دختران زیادی هستند که هنوز ناامید نشدند و به مسیر خود ادامه میدهند. جوانانی هستند که استعدادهای منحصر به فرد را دارند و میخواهند تا آن استعدادها را شکوفا سازند و از آنها بتوانند استفاده کنند. لطفاً نگذارید که این استعدادها قبل از شکوفا کردن پژمرده گردند. خواهش میکنم از زنان و دختران افغان دفاع کنید و در راه شکوفا ساختن این استعدادها تلاش کنید. لطفاً زمینه تحصیل را برای ما در خارج از افغانستان فراهم کنید. کمکمان کنید تا عقب نمانیم و به تحصیل ادامه دهیم. تشکر و سپاس از همه شما.
تشکر از سندوس جان. مثل که گفتم سندوس یک جوان 18 ساله است که در افغانستان زندگی میکنه و این صدا را برای ما روان کردن به خاطر مسائل تکنیکی. So thank you to Sandus. Sandus is an 18-year-old girl who lives inside Afghanistan right now. She talks about the pain of closure of schools for all girls in Afghanistan, and then she asked them not to give hope and start reading and doing things for themselves, especially reading. She, as we saw, she was very depressed, but she found a way to overcome that depression. Now I give the floor to Marzia Ahmadi. Marzia is in front right now. She's a sportswoman. She has 5 gold medals in Taekwondo, I think. And she will speak to us about her experience as a sport woman, and also her experience both inside Afghanistan and outside Afghanistan. Marzian, the floor is yours.
صدای من داره؟ صدای من داره؟
بله بفرمایید مرزی جان.
اول که سلام به تمام عزیزان که صدای من رو میشنوند و ایجای کل ما گرد هم جمع آمدیم که در مورد وضعیت زنان صحبت کنیم. من مرزیه حمیدی هستم، عضو تیم ملی تکواندو سابق افغانستان بودم و حالی در فرانسه زندگی میکنم و تقریبا 3 ماه پس از سقوط دولت من افغانستان بودم و 3 ماه تجربه تلخ زندگی اوجه داشتم و از اتفاقاتی که میافتید و تمام کارهایی که طالبان با زنان میکردن و مقاومت زنها را با چشم میدیدم. اولی که ایران میخوایم بگویم که از تجربه شخصی خودم با عنوان یک دختری که ورزشکار بودم در جامعه سنتی مثل افغانستان، پیش از اینکه حالا طالبا بیاین، ما زنان و من خودم شخصا ما از داخل خانه مبارزه را شروع کرده بودیم تا به افرادی که در بیرون هستن که ما را آزار و اذیت میکردن. خودتان میفهمین که حالا ما فقط حالا یک قسمتی از کابل نبینیم، در بیشتر ولایات افغانستان خیلی از دخترها اجازه تحصیل ندارن. یک تابوست برای خانواده که یک دختر بخواه بره تحصیل کنه، حالا چه برسه بخواه او ورزش کنه و خیلی کارهای دیگر انجام بده. تحصیل یکی از آرزوهای خیلی از دخترها بود در افغانستان. یعنی من میدیدم که خیلی از دخترها بخواین برن مکتب، اصلا یک مبارزه داخل خانه میکردن، یک بحث و جنجال میکنن و بعد از او به مکتب میرفتن. ای از مبارزه دختران افغان که برای ابتدایی ترین حقشان که درس خواندن است یا مبارزه میکنن که حالی کلی چیز از بین رفته و همون تحصیل هم دیگه نیست. و خودم که ورزشکار بودم در افغانستان به مدت 2 سالی که بودم، دخترای ورزشکاری که می آمدن خیلی هایشان فامیلایشان مخصوصا از طرف پدر و برادر یا مورد آزار اذیت و حتی خیلیشان لط می خوردن می آمدن برای تمرین کردن، چون برشان یک شرم بود که حالا یک دختر افغان بره ورزش کنه و پایه‌اش رو بلند کنه. این ظلمی بود که در حق همتیمیای من میشد و من هر روز میدیدم که اوها با اشک و مسابقه می آمدن یا با تمرین کردن. با تمام این کشمکش ها و این جنجال ها زنها داشتن مبارزه میکردن. یعنی پیش از طالبان مبارزه زنها بود و حالی بیشتر شده در برابر گروه خطرناکی مثل طالبان. و خود ما دیدیم که وقتی که طالبان آمدن زنها چطور استاد شدن و شعار دادن که نان کار آزادی، یعنی ما آزادی میخواهیم، حق تحصیل میخواهیم، حق زندگی میخواهیم. و خیلی از زنها مستقل هستن و هیچ مردی در خانه ندارن که بخواه او برشان کار کنه، خرج او را داره. من خیلی از زنها را میشناسم که خودشان مستقل هستن و خرج خانه را او میتن، کل یا بلا تکلیفی حالی به سر میبرن و نه حق کار دارن، نه حق تحصیل دارن، نه حق ورزش دارن. و خیلی از حالا زنهایی که در رسانه‌ها بیشتر حاضر می شدن و حالا خیلی بیشتر در سوشال میدیا بودن، برای او خطر خیلی بیشتر شده، چون مردم او را میشناسن و حتی طالب وقتی که بخواه برای خیلی برشان مشکل میشه و اصلا امنیت جانی برشان وجود نداره. یک اتفاقی که افتاد وقتی که من در تظاهرات بودم در کابل، تقریبا ماه سپتامبر بود، او وقت اوایلی بود که طالبان آمده بودن و زنها اصلا استاپ نمی شدن، تظاهراتشان ادامه داشت. یک چیزی که برای من خیلی جالب بود ای که وقتی زنها فریاد می زدن می گفتن آزادی، من در کنار خانم ها بودم در تظاهرات، خودم در تظاهرات بودم، وقتی می گفتن آزادی من در صدایشان هم بغض هم ترس، یعنی خیلی او صدا یک صدای عادی نبود، یک صدای بود که پر از حسها و دردها بود که با دستاوردهایشان چقدر جنگیده بودن و نمیخواستن که خیلی آسان از دست بدن با ورود طالبان. وقتی که او صدا رو من میشنیدم من میگفتم واقعا زنای افغان تغییر کنن و هیچ گروه نمیتونه مانع رشدشان یا خواسته هایشان شود. ولی خب تظاهرات هر روز برگزار میشه، زنها مورد تجاوز قرار میگیرن، مورد آزار و اذیت‌های خیابانی لطم میخورن از طرف طالبان، ولی هیچ عکس العملی از طرف قدرت‌های دنیا هیچ عکس العملی نشان نمیدن. سکوت کردن و فقط میگن که زنها را آزار ندین، که هیچ کفایتی نمیکنه. طالب کار خودش هم میکنه، یعنی آزار اذیت‌های خیلی بیشتری میکنه که اصلا شاید ما و شما از خیلی چیزها شاید خبر نباشیم که چقدر بلای سر زنها میارن در افغانستان، زنایی که مخصوصا در تظاهرات میرن. چون از دید طالبا زنایی که در تظاهرات هستن زنای خراب هستن و میتونن بدترین شخص روی زمین باشن از دید طالبا. و سکوت بیشرمانه دنیا خیلی شرایط برای ما بدتر کرده و ما باید از این سکوت بترسیم که چرا دنیا در برابر تظاهرات زنان افغان که بعد از 20 سال طالبان آمدن و یا مورد تجاوز، ما فیلم‌های دیدیم که برام داخل خانه از خانم‌ها برآمده بودن و او را برده بودن، بندی کرده بودن و اعتراف اجباری ازشان گرفته بودن. دنیا هیچ عکس‌العملی برای یا نشان نداد. این یک چیز مثبت نیست که ما بخوایم امیدوار باشیم برای نسبت به قدرت‌های دنیا. این نشان میده که همونطور که خودشان طالبان را کمک کردن بیاین افغانستان، همون قسم هم چشم‌پوشی میکنن در برابر خشونت که داره در برابر زنان در افغانستان میشه. پس بیاین یک کار کنیم که حالا ما برآمدیم و جای ما امن است، یک جای امن داریم زندگی کنیم، ولی هزاران زن در اوج ناامیدی به سر میبرند در افغانستان و اصلا امیدی برای زندگی فردایشان ندارن. یک ثانیه بعدشان مثل یک مرده متحرک شدن زنان. من از احساس درونیشان میفهمم، چون من 3 ماه اونجا بودم و کلا دنیا سر من خراب شده بود. یک کار مفیدی ما باید انجام بدیم که بتوانیم صدای رساتر زنها باشیم. زنایی که در افغانستان هستن تظاهرات میکنن ولی دفعتاً طالب میاد او را جمع میکنه و او را میبره داخل زندان یا هر کار دیگه هم باشون میکنه. کاری که ما باید بکنیم این است در کشورهای خارجی که هستیم همون تظاهرات ما اینجا ادامه بدیم، فشار بیاریم برای قدرت‌های این کشورها و برشان نشان بدیم که ما واقعا نمیخوایم طالبان را. یعنی این نباشه که فقط زنایی که داخل افغانستان از قربانی شوند، قربانی که صدایشان را بلند کردن، اعتراض کردن و ما اینجا فقط بشینیم با کامنت و توییت کردن بخوایم با و حالا چی میگن برشان یک قسم انرژی بدیم. این قسم نمیشه. ما هم باید همون قسمی که زنای افغان استاد شدن تظاهرات میکنن، همون قسم ما هم اینجا مبارزه کنیم تا یک تظاهراتی باشه که سر تا سر دنیا باشن، نه فقط داخل افغانستان. داخل افغانستان خیلی ریسک است و ما نمیتونیم با یک دختر افغان بگیم که تو برو امروز در سرک و شعار بده نانکار آزادی، چون هیچ عکس العملی دنیا برای کارهای طالب نسبت به زنان نداره و یک ریسک کلان است برای دختری که بخواد بره اوجا در تظاهرات شعار بده و حقش بگیره. امکان هر اتفاقی هست و خودتون میبینین که اصلا هیچ مردی در پهلوی هیچ زنی استاد نمیشه در تظاهرات و تنها بهانه‌اش است که ما رو مستقیم میکشن. به نظر من مردن مردانه خیلی بهتر از است که ببینی که ناموس تو را طالب در سرک لط کنه به خاطر ای که حق اولیه خودش فریاد میزنه و میگه که من میخوایم تحصیل کنم، میخوایم کار کنم. یک چیز خیلی عادی است که تو در هر کشور بری، حتی امو عربستان که کشور اسلامی، زنها دیگه حقوق خودش دارن، ولی افغانستان اقدر به عقب رفته که ما کل چیز از دست دادیم و هیچ کس در پالی زنای افغان استاد نیست. پس بیاین که خیلی متحدتری راه ادامه بدیم و دست از شعار دادن‌های الکی برداریم و واقعی باشیم در پهلوی زنای افغان استاد شویم. تشکر.
Thank you so much, Merzia Jan. As you said, and as I mentioned at the beginning in my speech, that Taliban they didn't take power, they were brought into power. Now, with coming news from different officials in previous government, we see that there was a deal signed with Taliban. All officials were asked to leave the government and not to fight. Therefore, it wasn't just Taliban came into power, they took power. And of course, over and over, we are told that the international community is listening to women and standing for women, but they're not doing anything active to make this happen. It's been 1 year, and I'm sure the international community have the power to do something. The Taliban, when they came, they were given the power, or they came inside the capital, they were a little bit soft, and as time went on, they showed their true self, and they're doing what they did back in 1996. So it's not a changed Taliban, it's the same Taliban. There will never be a changed Taliban. And what they're putting through women and girls in Afghanistan is nowhere seen in the world. Afghanistan is the only country which doesn't have a school for girls, and this is a fact. Now I will try Daria again. I hope this time it works. I think it's working, I can already see, so I will give the floor to Daria. Daria, the floor is yours.
صدای مرا میشنوین در فروهر جان؟
بله بفرمایید. بسیار خوب است.
Hello everyone, greeting from Kabul. It is a 22 years old artist, girl from Afghanistan. From really early age, I had a huge passion about art, about painting, and how to learn it. My brother were attending painting classes, and since we were in majoration, and I was longing to go to these classes, but I was never allowed to do so. I could only look at their painting supplies. And someday, if I were brave enough and they were out of the house, with sneaking, I could touch their painting brushes, canvases, and palettes, and analyze them one by one. And that was like a big achievement for me. Unfortunately, the sigh of becoming a professional artist and attending to the painting classes has been my dream till now. And actually in Afghanistan, becoming an artist is not considered as a profession, especially for women's. Art as a job and art as an industry and making money through it is never acceptable for Afghan people. And for me, growing up in majoration with poverty, having not the basic human rights, and in my opinion, the most important one with chagrin, art was not an option. You know, all the time I felt different because of special attitudes that I had, not just with my classmates, but actually with my family too. I always objected to the different treatments between me and my brothers as a girl, and they consider me as the abnormal girl. Even I was beaten many times because of that. They said that, why are you speaking back? And that shows that as a Afghan girl, actually you have to start fighting for your basic rights from like really early age. After I graduated school, I have to mention that accessing to higher education has been never easy for Afghan women in a patriarchal and male-dominant country like Afghanistan because of the security, because of the poverty, because of culture restriction, based on difference of sex. I remember the first time I got admitted into a public university, I was forbidden from family to go to there because of the long distance between their house and that university. Then I enrolled 3 different times in 3 different private universities. And again, because of different reasons like security issues, my family forced me to not continue. The last case was the attack on the Kabul University and the terrorists warning and treating the university where I was studying. Then out of the necessity, I tried like million times to find an online college to continue or to reach that enthusiasm that I have about learning. But I never succeed because when I saw the tuition fee, I was like shocked. That was not affordable for an Afghan girl. Even though I couldn't, I was not able to like continue to my higher education, but at least I had a job before. I had a job in an international NGO that would work for women and children. I could sell my products. I had a lot of clients who love my paintings, especially the one with coffee. And most important one, that I was financially independent. But since the past 1 year, I'm completely dependent even on getting my basic needs, and that's terrifying for a girl like me. These days, it is really difficult to first go out and then finding painting supplies. In fact, there isn't many shop and markets that sell this kind of products, or they tripled or they doubled the price. Most of the artists closed their ateliers because of that, especially the girls. Many of my friends always keep me asking that why you don't post your new artworks on social media. I'm really ashamed to tell them because I cannot buy new painting supplies to create a new piece of artwork. Art is a crime and we are like a criminal in Afghanistan. We feel guilty while being innocent. And furthermore, art needs space. We don't have it. We are under a big threat. We have to survive. And, when you fight for life, there is no time and space left for art anymore. I remember when Taliban first came and took the control of Afghanistan, most of people thought that they are changed. But as time passes, they took this mask from their actual faces, and we could see the Taliban of 1996, especially when it's come to girls and women's. These days, when I leave house sometimes, I turn back with sad face and broken heart. It is true that the security and society condition has been never good in Afghanistan in that past 4 decades, and we had economic problems like now. But then before that, we could see the smile of girls because they don't have to cover their faces. But now they have to cover their face with burqa outside the house. And I heard from many of people that a lot of girls and women who disobeyed that ordinance of Taliban were punished badly. The girls who cannot go to school are depressed at home and experiencing all kind of domestic violence at home. Even their family forced them to marry in that age. Women without their mahram, like without their father, brother, or husband, cannot enter to the public offices, let alone work there. The last case is the head of the Taliban Supreme Court has claimed that there is no need for a female judge in Afghan courts because they are witnesses. The few foreign NGOs that open in Afghanistan and active, Taliban doesn't allow women to work there because they don't want women and men to work in the same workplace. The few amount of girls who can go to university are not allowed to enter their classes or their exams because of like ridiculous reasons, like the color of their veils or the color of their dress. And in my opinion, there is nothing frustrating than people losing their motivation, which is happening right now to the women of Afghanistan. The Taliban trying to remove us from society, and they want to legislate in such a way that other women are risen to be in society. As a woman, I really don't know that why the Taliban's focuses on posing restriction on women. I always ask myself that why the Taliban why we should be the center of the attention of do's and don'ts. What is their problem with the woman? This is the question that all Afghan women and girls ask themselves every day. And when they keep you involved with these problems and with these things, you can no longer think about progress, about achievement. And I'm a little emotional right now. I really personally miss taking orders from my clients, for being financially independent, for training programs for children's and orphanage. to go to UNICEF, to other social events, to could walk freely on the streets, to go to coffee shop, to have fun with my friends. I want to study. I want to be active, to go to university like a normal girl, be able to good and help others, and don't have to live in this dystopia. I know you may say that these are like superficial thing, but this is a human need, and these things kind of make up the actual life of every human beings. Now I am in a severe depression, not actually me, but every girls and women that I know them that currently live in Kabul in Afghanistan. And it needs such a tough soul and powerful soul to tolerate and to get through all of these painings, these pains. And what just keep us going is having hope for future and believing that we are not deserved to end up like this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daria John, dear Daria. Yes, it's a question that every woman who knows Afghan women, or Daria John, yeah, it's the question that every woman who are supporting Afghan women or women in Afghanistan ask: what is the problem of Taliban with women and girls? Why are they banning women and girls and so severe with women and girls? This is a question. And and many women who are involved with Afghan women and Afghan women themselves really hope for a light. And there is a light at the end of the dark tunnel. That's the saying. Now we have Suhaila Ramazani. She has just arrived to Germany a few weeks ago, and she will talk to us about her experience as a single mother and living in Afghanistan for the past year. Suhaila John, the floor is yours.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
سلام کنم جان، خوب هستین؟ امیدوارم که همه افرادی که امروز با ما هستن همگی صحتمند باشن و من میخوایم به نوبه خودم بتایم.
Suhaila John, sorry to cut you off. Do you want to put your video on?
Yes, my internet چیز است یکم سلوت نمیتونم ویدیو روشن کنم به صدای ممکنه خطی بس شده.
Okay, so Suhaila has a bit of internet issue. That's why we can't really hear her so well as well. So if she put the video on, she will be cut off completely. We will listen to her as she speaks. Continue, Suhaila John.
من میخوایم امروز با شما به عنوان یک زنی که تقریبا یک سال 11 و 15 روز زیر چتر طالبان زندگی کرد صحبت بکنیم از تجربه‌ای که در این مدت افغانستان داشتیم و اتفاقاتی که افتاد. اول از همه میخوایم یک مختصر کلی صحبت بکنم، بعد میپردازم به تجربیات که خودم داشتیم. خب زنان در افغانستان همیشه محروم و ستم بودن. بعد از وقتی که حکومت انتقالی با یک کرده و بعد از آن تا قرار اشراف‌خانی در افغانستان عنوان رئیس جمهور کشور، زنان در طول او دوران نقش سمبولیک در ترکیب و بدنه حکومت داشتند و دوران جمهوریت زنان هیچ نقشی در مناسبات حوزه‌های امنیتی، اقتصادی، بین‌المللی، منطقه‌ای و نقش عملی نداشتند. با فرار رنگین اشراف‌خانی از افغانستان، زنان تحت سلطه طالبان فرد و سقوط کردند. در روزهای اول حکومتداری طالبان حداقل در شهر کابل مانندهای زیادی برای زنان وضع نمی‌کرد. زنان حداقل می‌توانستند به کوششی که در افغانستان مشروع بود، حداقل برای خرید و کارهای روزمره به بازار، شفاخانه و جاهای عمومی بروند. ولی با گذشت زمان طالبان شروع کردن و ایجاد محدودیت‌های زیاد، بستن مکتب و تقسیم کردن روزهای رخصتی که مردم به تفریح میرفتن، پارک‌ها برای زن و مرد جدا خصوص شدن. حتی خانواده‌ها زن به یک طرف پارک میرفت و مرد به یک طرف دیگر. سربازان طالب وارد کشت‌ها می‌شدند و اگر اولی که دستور صادر کرده بودن که دخترها حق تحصیل و آموزش ندارن، بعدم وقتی که می‌دیدن جایی خلاف دستور اونها عمل کرده، به عنوان دانش آموز وارد کشت‌ها می‌شدن و عمل انتحاری را انجام می‌دادن.
سهیلا جان صدایتان قطع شد. I think there is a technical issue again. Suhaila is trying to sort it out. Suhaila John, you're muted. You're muted.
Vale.
Yes, we can hear you. Continue, please.
Okay.
Hello. Okay, there's some kind of technical issue with Suhaila's voice or audio. Now she's gone. So we will go to the next speaker. And then when Suhaila comes back, she can continue. And then I know there are some questions. We will answer the questions at the end of the session in the question Q&A session. Now I will invite Maria Jose from Spain. She has been involved with Afghan evacuation, Afghan resettlement in Spain. And she has now created an organization called Knitting Women or Knit Women, and she will speak to us about her experiences with Afghan resettlement and her experiences with Afghan women or supporting Afghan women in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, and in Iran, of course. The floor is yours, Maria.
Thank you for her. Hello all. Hello, and thank you, first of all, Rasia from Pakistan, Sandas. I don't know if you are listening to us from Afghanistan. I have to say that your poem has broken again my heart. Your desire to continue studying to give hope to other Afghan women and girls, and people to not give up. Thank you so much. And also thank you, Marcy, and Daria Jan, your talk also from Afghanistan and your wish to live a normal life as other girls and women around the world. All you have described and your amazing drawings have broken my heart also, and also Suhaila. I'm the legal director at Amavi, a company of care homes based in Madrid, in Spain. And I am also a volunteer, as I'm going to explain in a minute. And I'm part of an association committed to the upholding of democratic principles in Spain called Más Democracia, or More Democracy. With other women of this association who have a similar mindset, we decided to help Afghan women and now have set up Net Women. But before I continue, I'd like to thank European Network of Migrant Women and all the organizers of this session. Firstly, for involving us in all of that, And now for the opportunity to explain the Godmother program that we have established with a view to help the Afghan women to integrate in our society. We are just beginning, but it has been an enriching experience for all of those involved, and we feel confident that this can only grow. In my talk, I will describe what we are doing to help, but I especially would like to express how we in Spain feel the terrible situation and incredible challenges that Afghan women are facing today, and how we admire you. We, in particular in Netwomen, want to create ways to collaborate with you, not only for your integration, but also to empower you to help the rest of women and girls still in Afghanistan, perhaps to organize a resistance from abroad and to bring hope to them, to our sisters in Afghanistan. So I would like to explain how we have been involved in all of that, what we are doing now in Netwomen, and thirdly, I'd like to mention what I think are the most relevant challenges and problems that Afghan women that have been forced to flee are facing.
Maria, I'm so sorry to stop you, but your voice is really cutting off. Is it possible to, I don't know, adjust your microphone, or because
sure.
It's very really fainting, and then there are cracks.
Yeah, okay. Can you hear me better now?
Speak now.
Now, can you hear me better now? Yeah, I'm trying with a microphone. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, much better. Thank you.
I'd like to explain firstly how we have been involved in all of that and what are we doing now in Netwomen. And thirdly, I would like to mention what I think are the most relevant obstacles that Afghan women are facing today and what I think we in Europe should do to improve their situation. At the beginning, until last year, I had no connection with Afghanistan, with refugees. It was just by chance when in August last year, received a call from two Afghan sisters through the association I belong to, Focus on Democracy Improvement, that I have mentioned. And they asked us help be evacuated from Afghanistan. I wanted to do something, so I asked some friends and we could help them to get to Spain. Since then, a number of European women's associations have asked us for help to get more women out of Afghanistan. And as a result, we have been involved in the resettlement of around 40 women and their families in Spain. We were happy from the beginning to have this opportunity to help and get to know them and their families. And it soon became apparent we could also help them to integrate in Spanish society. And for this purpose, we have launched Netwomen. It's an association to create a network of women to provide friendship and support on a very personal basis to those women. From the beginning, some close friends and family offered us their time and resources. They were spontaneously willing to help, so we decided to appoint godmother to each refugee from our association or from our growing network of volunteers. This is totally independent from the support that the NGOs assigned by the Ministry of Inclusion give to the refugees under international protection in Spain. Our help is based on contact and practical friendship, but it is also much more than this. Our principal objective is to give personal contacts, network ties, sometimes perhaps scholarships or job opportunities to Afghan women. This is essential for them because until the moment they can go back and recuperate their lives, their dignity and freedom in their own country, they will need to have a life, a job
and a home here in Spain or in other countries of Europe. The godmothers try to be a friend and try to be available for attending Afghan women in Spain in very ordinary things, as a simple errand or getting an appointment or explaining them how to buy a ticket, a transport ticket, but perhaps indeed accompanying them to a doctor. Usually, very soon, the godmothers want to introduce their own family and friends to create a stronger social network around their new Afghan friends. That is being an amazing and enrichment journey, not only for our guests, but also for us. Really, it feels good to be able to contribute in this personal way. We are also trying to get scholarships or to help them with university applications or with job interviews. And lastly, we offer Spanish lessons and conversation to our new friends. We realize that Afghan women and their families need to learn Spanish as quick as possible. This in mind, we asked an NGO to sponsor a platform to facilitate Spanish lessons with volunteers. We initially counted on our family members for this project. I have to say that my own father-in-law has proven himself to be one of the most dedicated and constant teachers in the whole group. But now we have the support of more than 45 volunteers who are giving Spanish lessons free of charge, these women and their relatives. It is coordinated now by an NGO specialized in young volunteers called Cooperación Internacional, and it is one of the resources that we, the godmothers in Net Womening, can offer to our beloved Afghan friends. To try to conclude, from my experience working closely with these brave Afghan women, I would like to mention that it is essential that Afghan women focus on recovering their self-esteem, their desire to live, to study, or to work, despite the pain that they carry inside and suffer every day when they talk to family or friends still in Afghanistan. Even now, as I speak to you, I realize that the family and friends that you have left behind are suffering daily, and that this weighs heavily on your mind. Indeed, even more than if you were the direct victims of these aggressions. I know you find it very hard to focus on restarting your lives and moving forward. And we understand the difficulties you are struggling with. Learning a foreign language, starting in a new country, in a different culture, all of that is always a challenge. But for you, who still have your families facing terrible threats, it is even harder as you are under severe emotional stress. But you, Afghan women, will overcome, will recover your motivation. I have seen many of you already doing it. You have our deepest admiration. And of course, you have our support. I know you will guide your families and your country to return to normality, to return the respect to human rights and to freedom. And one day, we believe you will recover your country. However, now the fight begins here. Education online for women in Afghanistan, advocacy for Afghan women's rights, or raising awareness in Spain, you have a lot of challenges in front of you. But for that, you must trust us and let us help you to become stronger here using, I think, you need to use the resources that Europe now puts at your disposal. I hope we can support you on that.
Thank you so much, Marie-José. Thank you for your speech and for helping and supporting Afghan women in Spain. Now I'll give the floor to Evie. She's from one of our member organization in Greece, from Melissa, and she has been involved again with Afghan evacuation back in August last year, but also Evie and other women in Melissa has been helping and supporting women from Afghanistan who was relocated in Greece, especially Afghan members of parliament and some Afghan judges. Afghan women judges. Evie, thank you very much for coming and speaking to us. The floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Frohar, for the introduction. To all of you, thank you for this opportunity for Melissa Network to speak of our experience with the Afghan evacuations and the journey after. I'm Ivy from the Melissa Network team. Melissa is a network of migrant and refugee women here in Greece, promoting empowerment, active citizenship, and social cohesion. Upon the fall of Kabul to the Taliban a year ago, Melissa Network took an active role with all the evacuation efforts from Afghanistan from the very start, and work together with local and international partners, securing the initial permit from the Greek state to evacuate 150 female leaders with their families to Greece. And given the regular scope of our work, and while working with women from migrant and refugee communities, together with partners and organizations from different countries around the world, including ANOM, we liaised with our counterparts and reached out to women at risk in Kabul at that time. We started creating lists and picking up direct communication with women throughout the eventful months. However, we were called to prepare these lists, manifest lists, something which we had never done before, which was not a simple task. In fact, not just a task. It brought along a big responsibility, as it was a matter of survival for most, where we had to be accessible at any time of day and night. We suddenly found ourselves talking to different women of different ages, different profiles, adolescents, single mothers, athletes, activists, journalists, politicians in Afghanistan, who were all receiving different kinds of threats by the Taliban. This communication became our daily and only routine for the upcoming weeks, 2 months. Our day would start at 6 a.m. in the morning and would take a pause by the early hours of the next day, considering the time difference with the international partners involved in the evacuation efforts and whom we had to have constant communication with. So it was a very emotionally and physically intense period, especially in our first attempts to the evacuations. But despite all this, we were immersed into the stories of the women we were talking to every day. We got to meet their families, their children. We listened to their fears, their pleas, their despair, and all this from the other side of a phone line. But we also heard their hopes, their dreams, and aspirations for their own children as well. So we had to be there. We had the need to encourage them and provide our empathy and support, even from afar, even if that meant it had to be from afar, the only way. Eventually, and through the involvement of a diverse range of people and partners, organizations, approximately about 1,000 people reached Greece safely. We supported most of them in different ways through Melissa's 7 strands of intervention, from first reception to covering basic needs, providing mental health support, language lessons, and non-formal education for their children, as well as legal and social support. And throughout this period, when the US and the Canada relocation applications initiated, Melissa facilitated in the procedures for their application. So throughout this period as well, advocacy and community engagement events were also being organized to enable these women who had arrived in Greece, and specifically the Afghan women MPs, to continue their work and their advocacy efforts. So since their first days in exile in Greece, these women leaders met regularly at our day center at Melissa in Athens, advocating for their people within and outside Afghanistan. And with the support as well of Melissa, they led to the creation of the Afghan Women Parliamentarians and Leaders Network, OPLN, with its formal establishment and its official launching early this April. Looking back at the past year, I can say it has been a profound experience for us and honor to work with all these resilient and inspiring women and their families, despite the risks and their unfortunate circumstances. And looking back as well, I remember while talking to these women on the phone and having a migrant background as well, and for myself, it felt like we were talking to our families back home, like instead of the Philippines, where I originally come from, it was like talking to a family back home in Afghanistan. So it was a really profound experience for all of us at Melissa. And now, although the majority have relocated to other countries already, and a few more remain waiting for approvals of relocation, these past months have been quite emotionally intense again for us, as farewells continue when they leave to their final destination. And it hasn't been very emotionally, it's been quite not easy as well. But just like all the other women who have who we know and have left from Greece from all these years, we make sure that communication remains and bonds are still kept. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Evie. It was interesting to hear your experience as an organization who has been involved with evacuating and supporting Afghan women in Greece. I must say that one of the other parts, or one of the other sad things that happened in August last year was the whole evacuation process. The evacuation process wasn't planned well. It wasn't thought through very well. Although the international community knew that this was going to happen, although from what we learned, they start evacuating their stuff back in April and March. They brought a complete chaos with evacuations in August as Taliban came into Kabul. There were a lot of people who were taken to different countries like Albania, like Abu Dhabi, Qatar, and other countries. Most of them are still left in limbo. They don't know what's going to happen to them. They don't know which country will accept them. And they are in another psychological and mental state. They are not inside Afghanistan, but and there's no fear of Taliban catching them, but they are in complete mental state of not knowing what's going to happen to them, whether they are being sent back or where they're gonna end up next. This was one of the sad things that happened to people of Afghanistan. And I hope the international community will attend to what they promised as evacuating Afghans and from other countries that they already taken to their final destinations. Now we will go to question and answer session. You're very welcome to write your questions in Q&A. We already have 2 questions. One question is about what can be done in the situation of Afghanistan right now, and especially for women. What can the international community can do? So they say, are there suggestions for direct support for women in Afghanistan, e.g. organizations providing education? So it's mainly to do with education. If maybe one of the panelists, Razia or Daria or Marzia, can answer this question, that would be great. Who would like to answer this? Daria, would you like to answer this, or Marzia? What can others or international community or organizations can do in supporting education or providing education to women and girls in Afghanistan? Daria, you wanted to say something? Yeah, go ahead.
Can I listen again to the question?
Sure. The question says, are there suggestions for direct support for women in Afghanistan, e.g. organizations providing education?
A very short answer to this question: there's nothing directly can be done in the situation of Afghanistan, especially with the attitude of Taliban that they taken right now. The only thing that could be done is putting more pressure on the Taliban. This is my suggestion, because Taliban directly don't want to do something for that, and they just can put more pressure on the Taliban, because I sometimes feel that the world community sort of forgetting us, you know. Because of that, I'm saying that.
Okay, thank you. And Razia John or Marzia John, you want to also add to this? No, okay. We have another question. It says, why countries ignoring women's requests and they left them alone in such situations? What will be the next step of Women Network to step on action plan to save women's rights inside or outside of Afghanistan? And in this person, I don't have the name. It's only Galaxy 10A12. He is, or she is, in Abu Dhabi. She's in Abu Dhabi. And she's saying, I'm not sure if she's asking us as a network of migrant women, what are our steps? Unfortunately, we don't have any action plan or steps for safety of women in Afghanistan, but we will work with women's activists inside Afghanistan, outside Afghanistan, and supporting them to bring their voice outside of Afghanistan, like we are doing today with doing events. And this is all we can do as a network, unfortunately. And we will lobby and advocate on any platform we can for the rights of women inside Afghanistan. And of course, we are working with our partners, with our members like Melissa, or our partners like Maria Jose, to see what can be done outside Afghanistan for Afghan resettlement. But actually we are doing online courses every 3 months on with women outside Afghanistan, with resettled women on knowing their rights in Europe. The last event or the last workshop we had was about being safe online or digitalization. So we do this kind of workshops, online workshops, and if you're interested, please get in touch with us. We will put you in our mailing list, and we will inform you of our next workshop. I have one more question about for women who are at risk, and if we know any organization or institutions who can help them inside from Afghanistan. Maybe Maria or Avi can answer this.
Well, personally, I cannot. We don't have any organization working inside Afghanistan, but we sometimes can help from abroad. In some cases, if this person would like to write us and to explain their case, well, in fact, we are receiving calls for help every day, every week, and sometimes we cannot do nothing. But we will try, and if we have any opportunity to put in contact this person with any other NGO or person that could help, we will do, of course. We are trying to get more visas and appointments in Spanish embassies in different countries around Afghanistan. Coming back to the question about Abu Dhabi, we are trying hard to help the people that are in Abu Dhabi waiting for appointment to get asylum, to request for asylum to Spain in this case. And I know that from European Network of Migrant Women, you are also working with other countries. It is very slow and it takes time. So I think that people that are in that kind of situation should collect all the evidences to prove their situation, all the evidences as possible, and then to try to address it to an European embassy by email. And we can just help advising on how to do that. We cannot do much more inside Afghanistan. I'm really sorry.
Evie, you want to also add something to this?
As Melissa, we do not have the capacity to continue. We do not have the capacity and the permission at the moment to proceed with further evacuations right now.
Okay. I must say that the evacuation process is, well, it's very slow. We as a network have approached numbers of different lawyers. We presented them with a list, but it is very, very slow and it's almost going nowhere. So I know at the beginning there was a rush and suddenly this has become very slow. Yes, now if one of the panelists want to say something, please do so. If not, I will give the floor to Spogmai Jabbar Khail, who is from Afghan Association in Sweden. And she's also, there are members, but she's also part of our board. She's a board member at the European Network of Migrant Women. She will say the final words for this event.
First of all, سلام علیکم بر همه دوستا و اشتراک کنندهایی که شما فی الحال با ما هستین. Thank you so much, Froher John, for introducing me. I have to say it has been an honor to have our participants today in our activism who have worked and fought for women's rights in Afghanistan since Taliban have come. It's an honor to be a part of this event and could be present all these bravo women who still fight, who still are there to raise Afghan women's voice in Afghanistan. I will take chance to thank our European Network of Migrant Women. Thank you. And thank you to the militia organizer. And thank you also to She4She, an Afghan women organization. I'm very thankful that today as a network and as a woman, we stand with each other to talk and have an event about an important issue that is about women education in Afghanistan. It has been more than 400 days Afghan girls are banned from schools in Afghanistan. This is important for each one woman and for each girl in the world to have access to knowledge. But in 2022, we are standing alone and facing to be stopped from the school, and every knowledge door are closed against Afghan women and girls in Afghanistan. And this is what we are suffering today, that people are not, governments are not giving us the right answer. Why are the world still silent? Thank you again for our coordinators, for our staff and board members for creating this event today. I think as a woman, as a girl, it's important to stand for women's rights worldwide. But as we are here today, it is a very important step for Afghan women, because I know as an Afghan woman that 20 years ago, we was not here. We could not raise our voices. But after those 20 years, I see a lot of Afghan youngsters today in Afghanistan and outside of Afghanistan, and I'm very proud. Our network and our Afghan women organization in Sweden will always stand with Afghan women and Afghan girls till we can raise our voice. We will not be silent at what Afghan girls are going through in Afghanistan. And of course, European Network of Migrant Women will be helping asylum seekers, migrant women, and we will do our best to help you when they are arriving European countries. Our doors and our arms, and we are open to take care of asylum seekers women and learn them the integration and their rights in the European countries. We will always do our best to stand there for our sisters. Thank you so much for having me here, and thank you for all the audience who have registered for this important issue today. This is from my side, this event and those women, those girls who have been involved to raise women's rights worldwide, their voices is adorable and an icon. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all the panelists for coming and speaking to us today. Thank you to Ajma Jan for her interpretation. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you being here with us today. And I want to say that this video will be on our YouTube channel. You can, it was live now on the Facebook, but it will be on the YouTube channel and you can view it anytime. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening.